So we're down to the final four in the County Senior Hurling Championship. 2 teams this weekend will advance to next week's county final. We also have 2 relegation playoffs, so 2 teams dropping down to the intermediate ranks. And to look ahead to this big weekend of hurling, I'd like to say that Dan Shanahan is here in our Dungarvan studios. And Dan, I'm sure you'd much prefer to be below in Lismore preparing for a semi-final rather than being in here, but can you give us a sense of what it's been like playing in front of crowds in the last few weeks? Seems to be a great buzz around the Waterford club scene at the moment.
Unbelievable, Tomas. Of course I'm disappointed, Tomas, but that's sport and that's hurling for you. But again, Tomas, the crowds at matches started small, but a few more people come into the game, so it's brilliant to have the support there. To see kids on the field being told to get off it at half time, it's fantastic, Tomas. It's what it's about. If you ask the players, and I was playing myself up there last week, but ask any players in the next weekend's games, there'll be big crowds at the games, Tomas, like, for the semi-finals and finals and the relegation battles. But again, Tomas, it's massive to have the crowds back. There was a big crowd there. I wasn't there, unfortunately, last weekend, but Dungarvan Abbey side, there was a massive crowd over in the field, which is fantastic to see, and long may it last, Tomas.
Do you think not only are the crowds rising, but do you think the standard is rising as well, Dan, I suppose, to meet the high bar that Ballygunner have set in recent times?
It is, Tomas. To be honest with you, Ballygunner aren't going to come down, so other teams have to get up to their level. So they do, but Ballygunner, of course, have their injuries going into next weekend's game. But again, it's going to be intriguing to see what happens the weekend, Tomas. What will happen? They're 50-50 games, Tomas, if I'm being honest with you. Semi-finals are about winning, and speaking from experience, it's not about performing, but semi-finals, if you perform and don't win, it's no good. It's all about winning, getting over that line, Tomas, next weekend, and both the relegation battles and the semi-finals in the Senior Hurling Championship. Yeah,
it's interesting you mentioned injuries there, Dan, because Ballygunner have a couple heading into Saturday's semi-final against Mount Sion in Welsh Park, 4:30 throw-in. We know that Tim O'Sullivan is out for the year. We knew that at the start. Philip Mahoney is now out for the year with a broken leg. How much will Ballygunner miss those two now come the business end of the championship?
If you asked me this question this time last year, Tomas, I would have said they wouldn't have missed them as much as they would now. Philip Mahoney's a leader back there. We all know that. I think he's his second serious leg injury this year that he's been out. He's broken. He's a big loss to Ballygunner. He is the leader back there. Shane O'Sullivan will fill the spot. He filled it there last week, and no better man to do a great job. But again, Philip is such a loss. Tim O'Sullivan, of course, like Padraig Prendergast and in Lismore, when you do your crucial, you're gone for the year. He's another big loss to Ballygunner. But having said that, Tomas, they've won a few minors. They've competed in underage strongly over the last number of years. They have a few lads there. They're lucky, Tomas. They have the numbers down Ballygunner where other clubs don't have them. So maybe can they cope? They can, of course, cope, but with the experience Philip builds, his leadership he builds back there and in the centre back position, and his presence alone, Tomas, to see the danger in key times of the game, to see out games, he is a big loss for Ballygunner the weekend, as is Tim and whoever else is out.
Yeah, we saw 4 Mile Water pushing Ballygunner for probably 3/4 of last weekend's quarter final. Dan, how will Mount Sion try and cause a major upset now on Saturday?
Yeah, it depends, Tomas, to be honest with you. Again, Abbey side would have pushed Ballygunner. 4 Mile Water would have pushed them, but the end result, Tomas, Ballygunner won. And it depends what Mount Sion turn up. If the Mount Sion turns up against Dungarvan, Ballygunner will win. But if last week's Mount Sion turn up against Passage, they have a chance. And I rate this game 50-50, Tomas, and it's a local derby game. They all say if you catch Ballygunner, it's going to be a semi-final or quarter-final or semi-final. But then again, Tomas, Ballygunner up the ante and push on to win their semi-final and final. We'll see Saturday evening, but I give Mount Sion a great chance going in. They're a great man in charge, John Meany, but it comes down to one man, Tomas, Austin Gleeson. If Austin plays well, and like he did the last day, Mount Sion have a better chance of winning, so they have.
Yeah, Austin Gleeson got 2-4 from full forward last week, Dan 1-4 from play, a penalty as well against Passage. Will he start there again on Saturday, do you think?
That's the question, Tomas. Do you put Austin Gleeson on Barry Coughlin? So it's a question John Meany, his management team, will have to figure out, or they just go for the juggler and throw him in there and see how he gets on Barry. The other side of it, Tomas, do Ballygunner put Barry on Austin Gleeson if he's in any one in the 6 forward position? So it's going to be intriguing, Tomas. So it is, but look, it's Austin, not only Austin, of course, Owen Whelan in midfield there, PJ Fanning is playing well. Young Kerwin is playing well, so they have more than Austin there, like, so Midgie Roach, but Ballygunner, like, have serious. All the Sullivans are playing well as well, or sorry, the Mahonys are playing well, as is Shane Sullivan, and as I said, the Sullivans, like, but again, it's going to be a massive game for the weekend. 4:30 is a great time to have a game, Tomas, of a Saturday, like, you're not playing Saturday night under lights or anything like that for a semi-final, which is rightly so, but again, it's going to be massive. Whoever make the least mistakes, Tomas, to win the game. I think another thing we're forgetting, the two goalkeepers, Regan, who missed the last day, and Saki in goal. They're two massive leaders for both clubs, so they are. And if they can get on top of their puck out situation, whoever get on top of each other's puck outs, then they have a better chance of winning. But it's going to be, you could be here all day, Tomas, talking about matchups and stuff. But I think if Austin plays well and Mount Sion have a better chance of winning, the key is, do they play him and what position do they play him?
And I suppose the key at the other end, Dan, is how Mount Sion will handle Desi Hutchinson. We saw Thomas O'Gorman put on him the last day. Did reasonably well. Desi got 3 points in the second half. How will Sion cope with him, do you think?
Yeah, look, PJ Fanning played well the last day. I think tomorrow he might get the duty there. So he might, whether Ballygunner put Desi on the edge of the square, which PJ mightn't be used to, and the corner could be different, Tomas. But again, it's another matchup that it could come, like, it's hard to know, Tomas. Desi got 3 points in play. Thomas O'Gorman, as you know, he's one of the best club hurlers around. So we saw that this year with himself. Morris had a massive battle, and on all the other games he's played well. But if every forward Tomas got 3 points in play, that's 18 points, like, and that'll go a long ways with your frees to win the game, like, So again, it's I've no doubt both clubs will be studying each other's form for the last week. The both managers, Darrell Sullivan and John Meany, but Tomas, I can guarantee when you go out there and cross the white line in local derby games, tactics and stuff go out the window, like, It's all about control, aggression, discipline. Who wants the ball more, and who can take who make the least mistakes will win the game.
Yeah, I'm sure Mount Sion would love to end Ballygunner's long unbeaten record. Dan, how do you see it going?
Yeah, Tomas, as I said, it's 50-50. I just get a feeling Philip O'Mahony is an unbelievable loss, Tomas, and Mount Sion will see that as a massive opportunity to stop this great team winning 8 in a row, Tomas. Some of them lads have 10 county medals, but to winning 8 in a row is some achievement for any club. What I do for one of them, Tomas, or another one of them, is just, it's unbelievable. But going for 8 in a row, the other side of the coin, Tomas, will Ballygunner kick on like they do in semi-finals and finals and play their best hurling. I'm going to give a shade to Ballygunner, Tomas, just on the fact that maybe they have 1 or 2 more dangerous forwards, and if Austin is held, like he was a bit in the Dungarvan game, they'll see Ballygunner will see this out, like, But again, if Austin turns up, I'm running with the hare, hunting with the hound here now, Tomas, it's hard to call. But again, look, may the best team win. And
I think you've teed it up very nicely, Dan. And it's going to be our George Corbett's got a big match as well here on WLR on Saturday. Ballygunner versus Mount Sion. You can join Kieran O'Connor and Michael Ryan for live coverage from 4:15. And it's back to Welsh Park again on Sunday, Dan. 1:30 start. Dungarvan versus Rowan Moore. You saw Rowan Moore up close and personal last weekend. What impressed you most about them?
You know what you're going to get from Rowan Moore, Tomas, to be honest, when you play Rowan Moore, is the honesty they give in the jersey. Are they hard to listen on the line, Tomas? You're damn right they are, but that's the club. Everyone knows that when you play Rowan Moore, they live on the edge, the supporters live on the edge, and that's why they're in a semi-final, Tomas. They have a great man in charge in Peter Queally. I suppose they were a bit rattled being beaten in the first game, but the way they regrouped and came back, you have to credit them. Billy Nolan sits in the pocket there, number 6. If you want to play a sweeper, you can. He can do that, but they have honest lads out in the field that will give an honest effort, and they're proud men from that wear the jersey proudly. So they do. And Gavin O'Brien is playing some of the best hurling he's played in his lifetime. Tomas, you saw that last week against Lismore. In the previous game, he's done the same. Previous games, he's done the same thing again. But again, I was very impressed at Rowan Moore last week, the way they never panicked. Tomas, even when they went down to 14, that they got over the line to win the game, and that's what it's about. They hadn't been there in 20-something years, am I right in saying that they hadn't got to a semi-final. They celebrated like they did win a county final, but I can understand that too, Tomas, when you haven't got there for so long. To win the game, you have to respect them. World is more disappointing. Of course, we were disappointed coming off the field to us, but that's sport. That's hurling. To lose by a point is tough to take. But again, on the night, I presume the team that win the game are the better team, and Roe Moore were last weekend.
Yeah, and you mentioned a great man in charge of them, Peter Queally, and they did celebrate like it was almost a county final down at the full-time whistle. And I just want to take a listen here to just Peter Queally's thoughts post-match after the game last Saturday.
Look, I'm long enough involved with teams and hurling matches and stuff. You know, when you pull out a win like that, where you know you're faced with adversity, you know, on a number of occasions, with conceding goals at bad times and down to 14 men, and you come out the right side of a 1-point victory. You know, you can't beat it. Like it's euphoric for this bunch, and you know, like you said, they celebrated with gusto because it meant so much to them. And you know, I saw plenty of tears there, and I know where they're coming from. You know, there's all that emotion came out there at the final whistle. Dan,
why do you think that Peter has enjoyed so much success at various clubs in Waterford over the years?
He just brings his honesty to it, Tomas, to be honest with you. Like, you know, I would have known Peter as a player, honoured to know Peter as a player, and played with him. Tomas, thank God I've never played against him, but he would have given everything, Tomas, for his clubs, for his club, Ballydurn, obviously, hurling and football. I couldn't speak highly of the man, so I do, Tomas. We go back a long time, and when you play with a man that gives everything, when he was playing with the county like Peter did, he knows how hard it was for him to come from maybe a junior club at the time, intermediate, whatever it was, and the effort he got, the injuries, the setbacks he had with the 2 ankle braces on in most games he was playing, Tomas. But again, he's just, for me, a great man. So he is, and I can see he's getting the proper results that for, like, I see how Roe Moore playing well, Tomas, because he bring the passion. After the first minute of last week's game, I saw Peter roaring onto the field at the ref. That's the passion he brings, like, you know, and constructively, of course, but again, it's just the passion he brings. And I've no doubt he felt a bit of pressure maybe after losing the first game in the round robin, that he felt maybe he came under a bit of pressure to get this. But again, I can understand where Roe Moore coming from. So they haven't been there for so long. They didn't over celebrate Tomas, but you know, they did what they had to do. I've no doubt Peter grounded him when they had the huddle down the bottom corner. He had a chat with them boys to take him down a bit. I've no doubt about that. He's been around a long time, as he said himself. So I've no doubt they did that. It's for the supporters, I suppose, Tomas, that they were more happy for themselves, like, you know, than disappointing Tomas from a Lismore point. But again, from a Roe Moore point, we would have done the same thing, Tomas, if we'd won by a point, if I'm being honest with you, like, you know. So you take the good with the bad. Exactly.
And another manager getting the most out of his team, Dan, is Peter Smith with Dungarvan. Like, they beat Abbeyside by 10 points in that local derby last Sunday. What do you think is different about them this year compared to previous times?
Yeah, Peter Smith, Tomas, I would have come across him at early into county level. Like, you know, he a great Middleton man. I think he's 2, if not more, county medals with Middleton. Hardy bio when you marked him. So he bought steel to Dungarvan. And from what I see with Dungarvan, compared to other years, their work rate, Tomas, it's been phenomenal. We all knew the talent they have, so we do. I can go through the names there in a minute, but again, the stillness he's brought to the belief to Dungarvan, especially going into last week's game, which was a 50-50 game. Abbeyside were still maybe slight favourites, Tomas, and the way they dealt with Abbeyside's key players and the way they bought their level of the game. Like, you know, granted, Tomas, like both teams, I suppose, Tomas, the way Peter said it there, conceded 4 goals, you know, and Dungarvan would have scored 5 with 4 of them, but probably 3 or 4 were soft goals, Tomas, 2 of them were penalties. So, but he's brought a big belief into Dungarvan, to them players. Their work rate has gone another level, Tomas. Another level. I see Paddy Corn chasing lads back from centre forward to centre back, trying to get the hook in on highlights there, and that's what you have to do, Tomas, if you want to be county champions or to rattle, to win semi-finals and finals. You have to work. You can have all the skill level you want, Tomas, but if you haven't got that work rate to bring with it, you won't win semi-finals. I just think Dungarvan are in a great place at the moment. with a great team around Peter as well, and it's going to be intriguing Sunday at 1:30, Tomas.
Yeah, I think Dungarvan have what it takes, Dan, to make it back to a county final. They haven't been there since 2012.
I do, Tomas, yeah, I do. The one big thing for Dungarvan, the game is on Welsh Park, which Roemore will be happy, very, very happy about. So they will, Tomas, but I think Dungarvan, I think Peter and his management team won't be happy the way they conceded goals last week against Lismore. I did come on there at half time, Tomas, if I'm being honest with you, and myself and Ray Barry had a hell of a lot of space in front of us. So we did, I think that Peter will have to look at that and maybe cut out the ball, because if Gavin Crotty is inside there with space like that, and the Corn brothers, they will cause damage, so they will. But again, it's
Michael Kiley as well, great goal scoring form.
Unbelievable. He's having the best hurling year. I think he was slightly injured last year, Tomas. We would have played him last year against Lismore and Dungarvan. He was slightly injured. Plus, I think there was one of the two corners. I don't think Kyle Corner was around. Coleman Corner was only back, but they're back full time now, and they're very, very good club hurlers, Tomas. So you throw Jamie Nagle, his experience there. John Corner's playing well at full back. Young Duggan in goal, who's a top class goalkeeper. So you've Kieran Power, Jack Lacey, Gavin Powers playing well corner back, but Roemore won't feed. Roemore will love a challenge, Tomas, and I've no doubt about that. Roemore love a challenge, and they won't fear Dungarvan. But I just think Dungarvan's classier hurlers will win the game next Sunday.
Looking at the two relegation playoffs, Dan, like two teams to go down this weekend. Before we go to the games themselves, you were involved in one of these matches with Lismore back in 2015 when you met De La Salle in a relegation playoff. What was that like to be part of?
Yeah, Tomas, I suppose at the start of that year, Tomas, both clubs would have been tipped to win a county, if I'm being honest with you. It just goes to show, Tomas, when you don't win your league games and losing becomes a habit, it's hard to get out of it. And that's why this year was so important, not only for us Lismore, but for a lot of teams. If you've got any other manager in here or player or coach, and to stay, for me personally, to stay up, for Lismore to stay up, Tomas, with two going down, was massive, to be honest with you, and we came across De La Salle that day. I think the crowd in Waterford was bigger than the county final because of what was at stake. It was a 50-50 game, we didn't win it. The one thing I have to say, Tomas, that we did do, we came straight back up after going down. It was a hard defeat to take, a lot of questions asked and answered in Lismore back in the day, but the one thing we did do, Tomas, to our credit, we came back up. It is a nice feeling going down, Tomas, and you know as well as I do, when you followed intermediate hurling in West Waterford, it's a tough championship to win. And I guarantee you, none of the clubs from the West or the East for that matter will want to go down next weekend. It's not a nice place, Tomas, but the big thing for us, we came straight back up.
Looking at the game tonight, Dan, Fairfield, 7:30, De La Salle versus Ballysaggart, could be arguably the standout game of the weekend. Like, there were 13 points between them when they met last year, but do you think Ballysaggart have closed that gap and are in with a right chance here?
100%, Tomas. I'd be lying sitting down here if I wasn't telling the truth. Ballysaggart should have topped their group, so they should have they should have bet 4 Mile, they should have bet Tallow, and they bet Lismore, which I can assure you, Tomas, is a bit of a hard pill to take when you're a local derby game, but they showed more night and they deserved to beat us, so they did. They're a very unlucky team this year, Tomas, Ballysaggart, and I suppose they hold, when I say this, Tomas, they drew De La Salle, in a relegation battle, so they did. They're in a better position, Tomas, than what they were last year, and that's down to credit to Frank Flannery, who did had previous 2 years to him where it was fantastic. You see, they've kept that going, Tomas, under Bob Maher, great club man. So he is. But next weekend's game, Tomas, I think if Ballysaggart can stay on top, stay in the game the first 15 minutes, Tomas, get to half time close to that, if not winning, and be in the game with 10 minutes to go, they have a great chance of causing an upset here, Tomas. So they have. I think the minutes are key to Tomas. To Ballysaggart, Tomas. We all know that they're so elusive. One of them could be centre back, one of them could be centre forward. You don't know where they're going to play, Tomas. So you don't. It's on a Friday evening and a 7:30, Tomas. So it's under lights. It could be raining. It could be a night De La Salle they want to go out and play there, but they have to. But it's, again, Tomas, it's all on the night. let's not forget Tomas De La Salle are a serious outfit. If you asked me to start of the year, De La Salle would have been top 4. They would have been. Do you know, there's 6 lads on the extended panel. 6 lads. It's 6 inter-county players on their extended panel. You throw in lads that played underage with Waterford in on top of that. So I don't think they're happy down there to be in this situation. I know that they're not happy down there to be in this situation. But they'll have to tread very carefully Friday evening, coming up to Waterford playing a team that's on a high after winning local derby that should have won 2 games previous to that. They'll have to come with everything Friday evening Tomas De La Salle to win the game. It's going to be intriguing. Tomas De La Salle, when it was put up to them, they didn't win the 2 games. When they went behind, they didn't come out on top. And if Ballysheart can get up, it could be a long night for De La Salle. It's going to be. Look, Tomas, it's a hard one to call. You have to say De La Salle will be favourites, Tomas. When I mentioned 6 inter-county players, extended panellists, and players on the team, so De La Salle will be favourites going into this game. But what have Ballysheart got to lose, Tomas?
Absolutely, Dan. And like 2 other teams that'll be giving it everything this weekend are Ballyduff Upper and Clonea. They have a 1:30 start on Saturday, also in Fairfield. Who do you think will survive the drop here?
It's going to be a tight game, Tomas. Like, look, you'll be sitting down here, Tomas, and you'll be on about relegation, man. You can go through the players. It's on a good time, Tomas, for both clubs. If I'm being honest, you're half one of a Saturday. Again, Tomas, it's 50-50. You can never ever, one thing about, I know it's in my career, rule out Ballyduff, Tomas. So you can't. You can never rule them out. So you can't. They've great lads there. Michael Carney, obviously, is the key man from. For Ballyduff to win, they have to put the shackles on Billy Power. He caused serious damage the last day, and I think he's carrying a slight knee injury. Of course, it's going to be intriguing, Tomas, but again, it's another again, Tomas. It's hard to call because they're all saying Ballyduff haven't won a game all year, haven't. But when you get Ballyduff in a relegation final or a semi-final or a quarter-final, Tomas, or any knockout game, they're hard to beat. And they'll bring everything they have. I know they're only over the road, I know what they bring. So I do, but I also know Clonea won't want to go down either. So I see that game 50-50, Tomas. Whichever Mikey or Billy plays well, will win the game. So look, Tomas, I wouldn't like to be in their positions the weekend. Thank God we're not. But let's not forget, Tomas. But if it doesn't go both ways for the Western teams, it'll be fair intermediate championship next year. But again, it's going to be intriguing, Tomas. I can't wait to maybe sit down and watch these games and see where it goes. But both Western clubs have chances of survival, but so do both Eastern clubs.
Dan Shanahan, an absolute pleasure to chat hurling with you as always. Thanks so much for your time today.
Pleasure, Tomas. Thank you.